Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Mother. And this movie came out in 2009 and is directed by Bong Joon-ho, the same director as Parasite. And he also did Snowpiercer, Okja, The Host. The Host, I think, is great, and Okja, I think, is pretty good. I haven't seen Mickey 17 yet, or Memories of Murder. And the only one that I don't like is Snowpiercer. But most of his movies are really good, if not great, and this movie I thought was pretty great. It's my favorite movie since Parasite in terms of like the ones that I've seen, and Parasite I think is probably his best movie. And I really loved the way this movie is shot, and it looked nice to look at every single shot in this movie. This movie hits different genres successfully. Many points it's a drama, sometimes it's a horror movie, sometimes it's a little bit comedic at a couple points during the beginning. And when I say horror movie, I mean it kind of disturbing to watch. And it always hits those beats successfully, and they always feel earned and they feel natural within the story. And I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did it, and I'm glad that it happened in this movie. I thought the performances were pretty strong, and I didn't think anyone did a bad job, and no one really stood out to me as like distractingly bad. And there's parts of this movie where I had no idea where the story was going. The first third is pretty easy to understand in terms of where things are going, but after that point, like the second third and the third, the rest of that, no clue where things were going, and I love that about the movie. I love unpredictable movies that always have me engaged, and if I am going to complain about anything in this movie, one thing is that there were parts of this movie where I was a bit confused. I was like, wait, we got here to here, but how did we get from point A to point B? I was a bit confused at a couple points. I might not have that issue if I see this movie a second time or multiple times, because I can see myself watching this movie multiple times. I would love to do that. But there were just some parts where I was like, okay, how did we get from A to B? But going back to my positives, I thought the characters were very interesting, and I loved following the mom in this movie. I thought she was very interesting, and she'll pretty much do anything to help her son, and that's really what kept me going throughout the film. And her son, with him being kind of mentally disabled, and him not having like a great memory, and just there's a lot of things that are going on with this character that is like interesting to think about, but never done in a way that was not handled well. I always felt as though it was handled in a way that was like natural and didn't feel like they went too far with anything. And the movie kept moving forward at a great pace, and I was never bored throughout anything in this movie. I was always with it, and there's lots of characters that just show up and leave, and they're always great characters, even though they don't have much screen time, but they're memorable characters despite that, because they're very well written, and this movie never gets dragged down by any drama that I found to be dumb. And also, I thought the music was good in this movie. I thought it added to the film. And I don't really consider this a spoiler, but this movie gave a new definition to rice cake for me. And I was like, wow, I can't think of rice cake without thinking of this movie ever again. And my only other criticism with this movie is just a tiny thing that doesn't show up until like the end of the movie, and it's just some lighting choices, because there's a hallway that's completely dark from one character's point of view, but then we go to another character's point of view, and the hallway is like completely lit up and you can see everything clearly in that hallway. I was like, that didn't work very well. I was just taken out of that, but really great movie overall, and I really enjoyed everything else about it. It was just one of those movies where like I always wanted to see where it was going, and this movie does kind of go on for, in any other movie you would say this, a bit too long, but I always felt as though it was like important information, and it never felt out of place. Like each scene in this movie has a purpose, and the way things get reincorporated, I feel as though it's very clever and unique and done appropriately. And this movie just gives you a load to think about when it's over, and That's the kind of stuff that I love, and that's a big reason as to why I was happy watching this movie. And I would definitely recommend that you check this movie out if you like Bong Joon-ho's movies, like Parasite or The Host, his Korean language films so far. If you like those, then check this out. And even if you like his English language films, then I think you'll still enjoy this movie. If you like Bong Joon-ho, check it out. And I think it's one of his best movies. But I'll check it out again, and it might be my favorite if I see it again. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give Mother a 9 out of 10. And it could be a 10 if I see it again, but we'll see. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Mother, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for a film that I haven't seen in quite a long time, and this was actually the first movie I ever saw in a theater, and that is Finding Nemo. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.